In this video, I'll be going over why things didn't work out with Lampard. What went wrong with Lampard? Why has Lampard been sacked? Now, the obvious answers to that would be, of course, the performances and results, but I'll be delving into a lot more detail, giving you guys a more further analysis, especially with the news stories that have come out from The Athletic. We've seen more of an insight as to what went wrong with Lampard, why it's gone so downhill, and we've got some in-the-know information regarding, that's been leaked from The Athletic with certain players, with the deterioration of the relationship between Mourinho and Lampard, Roman's relationship, what was the tipping point. It's going to be an interesting video, so stay tuned for this. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's get straight into today's video. Now, as I said, I made a video this morning. Lampard has officially been sacked. Sad news. Thomas Tuchel will be our new manager. I'll be making a video tomorrow. Looks like that confirmation of him being our new manager will be done tomorrow. Hopefully he will be in the dugout for the Wolves game. But let's get straight into this video. Now, starting off, I'm going to be giving you guys the 10 main reasons that's been released by The Athletic as to why things went so downhill with Frank Lampard. What went wrong with Frank Lampard at Chelsea? Now, the first point that The Athletic raised regarding the situation is Frank Lampard's relationship with influential director Mourinho deteriorated. Now, this is quite shocking news to me. By the way, before I continue, Athletic are, as we know, a very reliable publication. The most reliable publication you can find. So this is true news. This is interesting. The fact that Frank Lampard's relationship with influential director Mourinho deteriorated. Now, that's shocking to me because I believe they always had maintained a good relationship. She did a fantastic summer window for Lampard. She gave him the financial support and backing. Apparently that's not the case. I'll be delving into that in a minute. That is shocking. But as I said, that was the main reason. Marina, she is Roman's right-hand woman. She's the one who's managing and controlling Chelsea at this moment in time, and she calls the shots. So if things are not going our way, and listen, as soon as you have a bad relationship with the board, as soon as your relationship with the director deteriorates, it's game over. It's curtains. And as we've just seen now, it's curtains. And then it really then becomes a matter of when rather than if, and it really was the case. The second reason is Ralf Rangnick was offered the interim job last week for 4 months, but apparently it was turned down. Now, a few days ago, I made a video for you guys that with the situation is with Ralf Rangnick, that I said that, of course, Chelsea would like to hire Julian Nagelsmann, but Julian Nagelsmann will not leave RB Leipzig right now. He will only leave in the summertime. And RB Leipzig made that perfectly clear. Now, what they were thinking of doing was essentially offering Ralf Rangnick to essentially tap into that Bundesliga influence, allow him to implement that gegenpressing style of football for the remainder of the season, and then when Julian Nagelsmann is ready to take over. However, that was the club's plan. However, it's not happened. Ralf Rangnick has turned down that job, hence why it's led to a hiring of Thomas Tuchel that we've been long admirers for. The third one, where the calls were made in recent weeks to sound out Leipzig's Julian Nagelsmann. This is not anything new. We knew this for time now. We knew this for weeks. I made countless transfer videos on this. Julian Nagelsmann was a top target alongside Thomas Tuchel, and of course, as I said, he's not leaving mid-season. He would only leave at the end of the campaign, and of course, Chelsea would not like to wait that long because the situation with us is deteriorating. It's in tatters. So of course, Chelsea had to take action now, and that's what we've done. The fourth one is Leicester's game was a tipping point, and the morning after was spent trying to finalise a successor. As I said, the body language, the way that he spoke, his expression gave it all away. We knew he was a dead man walking after the Leicester game, especially Luton. My theory is that we didn't sack him after Leicester for two main reasons. The first one is we didn't have a successor at the time, and the second reason is we wanted to give Frank Lampard a fantastic send-off, send him off on a win, because of course he's a massive icon, he's a legend in this club, and we gave him off on a win. That is the main two reasons for that. Now, as I said, the Leicester game was crucial because if we won that would have been 2 games won on the bounce, and we could have tried to gain some momentum, some confidence, reinstill some confidence back into that squad. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and things are declining rapidly. We are sitting 9th, 9 points adrift of top 4, and action had to be taken. 5th is Lampard shook players' hands and thanked them for their efforts under him after the Leicester match, basically meaning that he knew his time was up. The way he spoke in the press conference and the post-match interview, saying that he knows the club's expectations, he knows that the situation is difficult. He doesn't know if his future is safe. When a manager says words like that, it's game over and it's a ticking time bomb. 6th, Petr Cech was involved in talking to new stars agents as form dipped. Now, as I said a few days ago, actually, and a few weeks ago after the Man City game, that's when Roman Abramovich became really, really unhappy. But again, a lot of players formed a cult They were essentially outcasts. Kepa, Marcus Alonso, Rudiger, Jorginho, these players that weren't getting regular football time, they weren't getting regular game time, and then their agents were speaking to Petr Cech regarding the situation, and everything just got worse and worse and worse. 7. Some players complained about the lack of tactical instruction and not being spoken to for months. Now, again, this is really surprising, and this is actually embarrassing. The fact that there's a lack of tactical instruction. There were talks about lack of instruction for Kepa, hence why his dip in form. Tactical instruction for Thiago Silva. He spoke after the Man City game. And you could see it in the game. I kept saying for weeks that I don't see an identity. I don't see a set pattern of play. I said that I don't know what Lampard is instructing these players to do, because it felt as if these players are just playing off intuition. They're just playing off their own game. They're just doing their own thing. I never saw anything instructions. I didn't see anything clear. Something set. It wasn't there. And we scored a lot of goals and profited off set pieces, and that's what saved Lampard for so long. And it's honestly, again, another reason why it led to his downfall. 8. His desire to re-sign Declan Rice annoyed Frank Lampard's bosses. Now, this is a main one. I said before, the Declan Rice news is driven by Frank Lampard personally himself. The board aren't too keen on Declan Rice for 2 main reasons. 1, they don't think he's good enough, but secondly, they don't want to spend 70 to 80 million pounds on a player they let go for free because of the embarrassment and the backlash they would get for that. And they simply didn't think that he would be good enough for this club. Lampard was one driving that Declan Rice interest, and with the amount of money he spent and performances and results going straight into the dustbin, it angered them, because they were saying, we've backed you so much, we're giving you so much financial support, and you're still asking for more and more, and you haven't performed on the pitch, and the results are not backing up the evidence. That's when the hierarchy got angry, and you can't really blame them. 9. The dressing room felt the manager showed no empathy and were hurt by his public criticism. Again, Mourinho's had this problem in the past. When you're coming out in public and criticising him and slagging off these players on a consistent basis, it's not going to go down well. The West Brom situation with Marcus Alonso, countless other times, when you're coming out and slating these players on a consistent basis, whether you think it's right or wrong, it's going to cause a backlash. And of course, 10, Lampard would have walked out had he been working for any other club, but the reason why he never resigned is because he's at Chelsea. He loves this club too much. He's a legend. He's an all-time top goal scorer. It's that unconditional love. He loves us, we love him. It's as simple as that, and it's sad to see. It's sad that it's ended this way. It just wasn't meant to be in some circumstances, some situations, but we have to move on. We've got some exciting times ahead. A new era is beginning, and it honestly really is sad with the situation. Now, again, carrying on with the situation as to why it hasn't worked out with Lampard and why he has been sacked. Another one is the fact that Frank Lampard wasn't actually 100% backed in the window. Now, this may really surprise you, but delving into reading into the Athletic article, Ben Chilwell was the only target Frank Lampard wanted that we actually landed. Ben Chilwell was the only one. Now, this may surprise you. According to the Athletic, Werner, Kai Havertz, Ziyech, Thiago Silva, Edouard Mendy, none of them were first choice Lampard targets. The only one was Ben Chilwell. Now, this was surprising because we were all told in the summer that, listen, Lampard's been completely backed. He's got all his first choice targets. It wasn't the case. It was only Ben Chilwell. Frank Lampard's plan was to sign West Ham's Declan Rice and Burnley's James Tarkowski to reshape their defence. Fikayo Tomori, Marcus Alonso and Antonio Rudiger were earmarked to leave, with Lampard also open to the idea of Cesar Azpilicueta leaving. That's what I mean. He wasn't backed. And then continuing on to that, all those players stayed, which was a major factor why Rice and Tarkowski wasn't signed. Mourinho Gunnar wasn't too keen on Tarkowski either. One Chelsea backroom staff member told some players, "Don't worry, Lampard, this will all be over in a couple of weeks." It's actually disgusting. Another source said if it had been any other club, Lampard would have walked out and resigned in the summer, but obviously his connection with the fans and what Chelsea means to him meant he was always going to try and make things work. It's depressing. It really is sad to see how things have ended. And this is why it's led to his downfall. Lack of tactical instructions, not being 100% backed in the window, COVID pre-season, players falling out with him, dressing room splitting, inexperience. There are so many factors as to why, this situation has deteriorated and got worse and worse and worse. Situations declined, and as a result, it's led to his sacking. It's a real shame. It really is a real shame. Listen, I hope the story doesn't end there. I want him to return one day once he builds up a CV experience. But it looks like right at this moment in time it wasn't meant to be. And listen, I love Lampard and good luck to him in all his endeavours in the future. And hopefully we see him one day at the bridge. But wow, man, it's been a crazy day. It's been a crazy morning. But listen, time to get excited because that is going to be my last depressing videos because from here on now it's going to be exciting. Thomas Tuchel will be our new manager. But I'm going to wrap up the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this, do smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and comment down your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.